Circuit theory, hint sheet for unit 2, prepared by Dr. R. Karthikeyan, EEE with Professor R. K. Thevenin's theorem for DC circuit. Thevenin theorem says that any complex linear circuit can be replaced by a Thevenin voltage source in series with the Thevenin resistance or Thevenin. Here V Thevenin is nothing but open circuit voltage across this terminal A and B, whereas R Thevenin is the open circuit resistance across the terminals A and B. To find this R Thevenin, you have to replace voltage sources by short circuits, current sources by open circuits. Next, we have Norton's theorem in DC circuit. Here also we have a linear complex network that can be replaced by a equivalent circuit, which is nothing but a current source in parallel with resistance Rn. So this is your Norton equivalent circuit. This IN is you replace this RL, connect a short circuit across the terminals A and B. That short circuit current through A and B is the Norton current IN. Rn is same as that for R Thevenin. Thevenin's and Norton's theorem in AC circuit. So we have a AC source and we have the impedance Z Thevenin. Here we have a current source, AC current source in parallel with the impedance Zn. It is almost same. So V Thevenin is nothing but open circuit voltage. Right? So you can convert Thevenin circuit to Norton circuit or Norton circuit to Thevenin circuit. So IN is nothing but short circuit current. Z Thevenin, this also it is nothing but, if you want to convert from here to here, VOC divided by Z Thevenin. V Thevenin is nothing but IN into Zn. So there is a correspondence between Thevenin and Norton's theorem in AC circuit. Next we have superposition theorem in DC and AC circuits. The concept is same. As I already told, superposition theorem cannot be applied to find power. This you have to keep it in your mind. So how to apply superposition theorem, whether it is in DC or in AC circuit, the procedure is almost same. Keep only one source at a time, suppressing other sources in the circuit. That means you have to short circuit all other voltage sources, open circuit all other current sources. Next, find the response due to only one source. Repeat this for other sources in the circuit, and overall response is going to be algebraic sum of individual responses. So this algebraic sum is very important. Next we have maximum power transfer theorem for DC circuit. So you have one voltage source in series with an internal resistance Ri. A and B are the terminals across which we have the load resistor RL. So from the source through Ri and RL, this current flows. So this is the load current IL. P is the power transferred from source to the load. Power transferred from source to the load is going to be maximum P max when this load resistance equals the internal resistance RL equal to Ri. this IL is nothing but load current is nothing but Vs divided by Ra plus RL, and the maximum power transferred from source to load, it is given by Vs square divided by 4RL. Similarly, maximum power transfer theorem in AC circuit, here we have impedance, this is ZL, that is we have the AC source in series with an impedance, source impedance ZG, and ZL is the load impedance. P is the power transferred from source to the load. So this power transfer from the source to the load is P max when this load impedance equal to Zi star, that is when load impedance equals complex conjugate of internal impedance or source impedance. Here again P max is going to be Vg square divided by 4 into RL. Okay, this load impedance is going to be RL plus R minus JXL slash XC. Next we have Millman's theorem DC circuit. Here we have 3 or more voltage sources connected in parallel, V1, V2, V3. Their internal resistances are R1, R2, R3. These 3 are connected in parallel. Across the terminal AB, we have the load resistance RL. So through Millman equivalent circuit, you can draw like this. Single voltage source in series with a single resistance. So this is your Millman equivalent circuit. V equivalent is given by plus or minus V1 by R1 plus or minus V2 by R2 plus or minus V3 by R3 divided by 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. So this whether you are going to have plus sign or minus sign depending on the orientation of these voltage sources. Suppose if top is positive means plus. Suppose top is negative like this, then you have to take minus. Next, R equivalent equal to 1 divided by 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. And finally, we have Millman's theorem for AC circuit. It is same, but only thing is we are going to have the AC sources instead of resistance, we will have impedances. So I think you can see clearly. We have 3 voltage sources, V1 AC voltage sources, V1, V2, not more than 3 also, it may be n number of sources, V1, V2, etc. up to n, Vn. So Z1, Z2, Z3, etc. up to Zn. ZL is the load impedance. So you can combine these are all connected in parallel. You get the Millman equivalent circuit with a single voltage source Vm in series with the impedance Zm. Okay. So Y is nothing but admittance, which is nothing but 1 by Z, reciprocal of impedance. So Vm is given by V1 Y1 plus V2 Y2 plus etc. plus Vn Yn divided by Y1 plus Y2 plus etc. plus Yn. Zn is nothing but 1 divided by Y1 plus Y2 plus etc. Zm. So this is not n, this is m. Zm equal to 1 divided by Y1 plus Y2 plus etc. plus Yn. So we have seen the hint sheet. So it has given you the overview of major theorems applicable both in DC and AC circuits, concepts, formulas of various important theorems which we have covered in unit number 2. Hope this will be useful as a quick reference. Same thing will be provided in the form of PDF file so that you can download, you can take printout, and you can use it as a hard copy reference also. Thank you.